the comic, maintaining the artistic style to some degree, but also amping it up a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the development of the show was interesting because, yeah, we used the comic as a springboard, but we knew that we couldn't fully translate the comic because it's a different medium, film is a different medium, and it kind of took us to different places. So that's why the family has a roller rink, because that's something that's more visually forward and exciting. So we use the comic as a springboard, and you're right, as far as the illustration sensibility of it, the character designs look very pen and ink. They have like these spotted blacks, inky style on them, and that's completely intentional because we did want it to feel like a graphic novel come to life.
Also, in the original comic, Moon Girl is such a loner. Lunella really is very isolated, and you've created already from the very first episode close relationships with now a multi-generational family, a close friend. What was the idea of kind of opening up Lunella from the beginning?
It's well, her arc is a deep arc, and when you're doing a TV series, you basically want to kind of keep that arc moving in a lot of ways, and to start her in a place where it felt like, yeah, she was good kind of in her own skin, but was challenging around other people. It was a type of thing where we wanted to kind of open her up to kind of a new world, and then you'll see her world kind of developing more fully as a series.
Even like just in terms of the comic book, she's 8 years older.
Yes.
8 years old, so we made her 13. So that also opens it up to more opportunities for different kinds of stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you staying true to the comic? Are you changing it up for the series?
Well, the comic is definitely a point of reference, you know, so there are some nods to some storylines in the comic book, but you know, it's complimentary, but it's a little different. Yeah, we're doing our own thing.
I have to say, I love the music, like I told you, the score, and then the visuals, the illustration.
Well, we have a team here in LA. It's an amazing team of designers and character designers and background designers. And our animation is done by a studio called Flying Bark in Australia, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah, everyone is completely at the top of their game. Yeah.
It's such a mission to be as an action.
So, can you talk about the family dynamic? Who's part of that? Because usually we see characters being taken
a real small picture.
If I heard right quick, so in terms of having the family dynamic, you know, that is something that was very important to show in terms of seeing a black family, you know, seeing the multi-generational perspective that Lunella can learn from, and also vice versa. So seeing that and also showing that in a positive light was a very important aspect that we wanted to make sure that that is out there.
So, obviously, you always want a great product and a great IP at any moment in time. But what do you think makes right now the perfect moment for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur to just take the world by storm? As I'm assuming it's poised to.
Of course.
Well, moments just happen, and sometimes you just gotta make that moment happen. And that there is no right time, there's no wrong time. You just kind of have to see what happens.
But it's the first.
Yes.
So this is the first time this kind of character has appeared.
Yeah. This is what I had to say is that it's Marvel's first African American teen girl superhero. And
it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. That's a big deal that you have to say it. It's a lot to say. It's a big, long phrase. But 2022, and still having to say something like that is crazy,
It's nice that we're here, but at the same time, wow, really?
Yeah. And for a lot of kids, especially black kids, just to see that character, see Lunella, see Moon Girl, see somebody who's into STEM, see somebody who has a family that's together, that's supportive, and that's important. I'm sure that, a lot of kids have waited for this kind of story, this kind of character.
Yeah, especially because I think the statistic is most girls that are around the age of 12, they start to gear away from science and math and all
Yeah.
that. So the fact that she's 13 and gung ho.
I definitely hope that this gets bigger people interested in science more and roller skating.
Well, I don't know if you put
And
that in the right
dinosaurs.
order. I don't know.
Yeah.
Roller skating
Yeah.
and then science, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say thank you. As the father of a 13-year-old black girl, I appreciate you because this is definitely what the doctor ordered. And it is long overdue, but I am also grateful that it is being recognized as something that is important to pursue. So I thank you. And I appreciate the show. I saw the pilot. It's amazing. And again, I think that this kind of representation, and as I see Marvel is moving into more female, more diverse, gender, all different kinds of people that are represented, and again, I think it's something to be celebrated and appreciated. So, not more of a question, but thanks for it.
Yeah, I appreciate the comment. Yeah, it's because people exist. Everybody exists in a space. Why not show them in the space? And what's the issue with that? There are black people in the future. There are black people that swim. There are all kinds of things. There are all kinds of people from all walks of life that live in the city. So why not show them? Why not give them a voice, a space, and representation?
I also know that right now you have an all-female writer room, so there's that dedication to authenticity. Can you talk a little bit about creating that authenticity and representation on all levels with this project?
Yeah, it's important. You can't write a story about a 13-year-old black girl and not have anybody black in there, not have any women in the room, and just in terms of dealing with diverse issues or diversity, we have a very diverse team that's creating the show, that's working on the show, and it's always interesting because that now people they feel comfortable enough to say, hey, this particular thing is not right. This doesn't feel right. And as opposed to getting that adversarial aspect, we have this more open and welcoming aspect to it. Where you say, okay, all right, well, why is that? Explain it to us. They understand, and we understand, and we change that. We fix it, because we want to make that representation correct and authentic as we can.
It's all about authenticity, and it also was interesting because when we kind of looked for writers on the show, and it was challenging to find diversity and representation in writers, we realized, all right, this is the problem, so we need to be part of the solution. So we brought on a lot of writers that may have never had an opportunity to write on the show, and basically educate and teach and just prep them for success. So that was really important to us.
There's a lot of that happens within the production. So there are a lot of people that have moved up in positions, myself included, so that's a testament to the production of Disney.
But I also think, with the voice cast, now you've got such intense, really current talent. Can you talk a little bit about reaching out to those people? Were they excited to jump on board?
Oh yeah, I mean, when Lawrence Fishburne calls you,
Yeah.
pretty much you take the call.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been amazing. The people that we've reached out to work on this show. I mean, some of the names that have already been announced. We have Wesley Snipes, Alfred Woodard is a regular on the show. David Diggs, Allison Brie. Yeah, it's just the list.
Maya Hawke.
The list just goes on, and everyone. That was Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson's a perfect example where she had a policy where you just sent her scripts and she would read scripts and she would take projects just based on if she felt the script was worthy of her time. And we were a TV show. It wasn't quite in her wheelhouse. She was filming Aretha at the time. And she okayed the show and went on the show based on the strength of the script. She said, this story needs to be told. I want to be a part of this. So that's been such a wonderful thing for us that even the talent we're reaching out to is reacting to the material in such a positive way.
It feels like this is the type of show, you get it to the right eyes, people will eat it up. I mean, I think that's what you're hearing with the talent, why people want to get on board is it's just such a unique endeavor. there's a lot of anxiety about launching a project as well. And I'm kind of wondering what your emotional state is right now as we're on the precipice of this coming out into the world.
It's very exciting to see it because we've been in our bubble working on the show for at least 2-3 years, and the development before that, and just waiting for the reaction. We've been working on this show through COVID, remotely, building it totally remotely, and so to finally have things to show people, because we feel like this show is great and it needs to be out there. People need to see it, and I hope that the response is mutual in terms of the audience.
Yeah, the chemistry was there from the beginning. It's one of those moments where you know it's working. You just know that everyone is firing on all cylinders and everyone is giving their all to the show, and having the opportunity to have everyone have a voice. That was also unique on the show, where everyone we brought onto the show, from top line to bottom line to everyone in between, we said to them, when we have art reviews, when we have script reviews, we want to hear what you think.
The input is very important. That's what goes back to the representation, the proper and authenticity. So giving people that voice, the opportunity to speak up and make things right, is very important. We don't want to have that environment of otherwise.
I always find working in animation is so ethereal, because it doesn't exist until it all snaps together. When did this project feel real to you? Oh my God, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is happening. It exists now.
The vision was very clear, honestly, from the beginning. But I think the thing that really kind of landed it was we did a proof of concept piece initially. It was just a roller skating sequence from the show, and we put Childish Gambino's sweatpants attached to it. And we showed that to Disney executives, and we said, this is what the show is. We're not apologizing for it. We're not making excuses for it. This is what it is. So hopefully this is the show you agree that this is the show we need to make. And they did. Because usually you wouldn't do that. Usually you go with a safer piece of material to basically ease people into it, but straight up,
we went hard.
Yeah. And to me, just the excitement because Disney executives, a lot of these people that have greenlit all of these amazing movies and Little Mermaid and Aladdin and all this stuff, it felt like just seeing the excitement on their faces when they were watching this as something new, something fresh, something we haven't seen before, was the moment we knew this was working.
I wanted to speak into the future. Do you think you might do a movie, a movie based on the series after the TV show? I'm speaking in the future.
I mean, that's all up to the powers that be, isn't it?
I think it
we there's a whole lot of opportunity to even broaden out the story, but we looked at these shows, each episode as a mini movie. We treat them that way, even through the production process of it. We do color scripts and things like that, which were done in feature films. So it's really well thought out process, and visually and sonically, just talking about the music, we have Raphael Sadiq doing the music on it. And the music is just bananas, and when I heard that, I was like, I need to be on this project. When he pitched me how he even got him on the show to do it, I was like, okay, I got stick with my man here, man. He knows what's up. He convinced Disney to go in a direction that I would never imagine from Disney.
I watched the whole YouTube about the music. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, no, it's something else. Yeah, the soundtrack is coming soon, and it's so good. It's so good.
Soundtrack movie.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My daughter's gonna love that.
Thanks, everybody.